Okay, this video is going to start with number 21 and go through 30. So, which graph represents a system of linear equations that has multiple common coordinate pairs? So that means that it intersects more than once. So here we have two lines that intersect exactly one time. So that's not our answer. C has perpendicular lines that also intersect exactly one time. In D we have parallel lines, so they're never going to intersect. And on B we have two lines that are on top of each other. It's kind of hard to see, but based on the fact that I got rid of the rest, that's definitely what I've got here. So B is going to be my answer. Number 22. Okay, for 22, we are going to look at our formula sheet for something that we haven't really used. That's why I didn't go over these in class. This is going to either be an arithmetic or a geometric sequence. And if you look on here, we have our arithmetic sequences. It says recursive and explicit. All I'm going to do is plug into this. And then the geometric sequence, which is right here. And the same thing. All we're going to have to do is plug into that. But we're going to have to figure out what this is. So this is going to be my first one. See, they have N1, N2, N3, N4. And then they have what the value is there. This is like X and Y kind of. And I'm just going to see what's happening here. So just like the other, I go, this was plus 7, this was plus 7, this is plus 7. So you guys would know that this is a linear function. If it's plus 7 and it's a linear function, we are going to use this arithmetic sequence. Okay? The plus tells me that it's arithmetic, which it looks like arithmetic, but it's called arithmetic. And we know we're going to be adding 7 each time. And we know that if I'm adding 7 every time, it actually means I'm going to take whatever number and I'm going to multiply it by 7 because it tells me how many 7s I have. So if I look at this, I'm looking for the one that's been multiplied by 7, so I can actually do this without the formula. The only one that has multiplied by 7 is going to be B. And really I could just plug each one of these in and check it. So let's go ahead and check the first one so you can see it. This is N, so I'm going to plug it in for N. A and N is also going to be F of N because they're doing that. So, 3 equals 7 times 1 minus 4. I can check that. Yeah, 3 is equal to 3. Cool, I picked the right one. If I want to use the recursive formula or the explicit formula for it, I'm just going to plug in. It says A1 plus N minus 1 times D. So D is the difference, the common difference, and the common difference was 7. It changes by 7 every time. So that was AN equals A1, so the first one is 3, plus N minus 1 times D. And the common difference was 7. So we're going to distribute the 7 times both of these. We're going to get AN equals 3 plus 7N minus 7. We get AN equals, by my like terms, 7N minus 4. And there you go. I got the same thing either way. 23. Look at the sequence on this table. Which function represents the sequence? So once again, let's check and see what type of function we got going on. There's going to be a difference of 2, a difference of 2, a difference of 2, and we've got our last plus 2. So I know that I'm going to be multiplying by 2 on the outside, or 2 is equal to my common difference if I wanted to use that formula. So I know I'm looking for 2 on the outside, but I've got 2 of those this time, so it is going to be easier for me to plug it in the common difference formula, or I could plug in one of these and see which one of these two works. So let's do it both ways. I'm going to plug in 1 and negative 1. So negative 1 is equal to 2 times 1 minus 1. Negative 1 is equal to 2 minus 1. And negative 1 is not equal to 1. So we know that C can't be the answer. That makes D the answer. If I plug in a D, I'm going to get the right answer. Now if I do it with the arithmetic sequence, I said D was equal to 2. So let's go over here. For my arithmetic sequence, we've got an equals the first an plus n minus 1d. So we've got an, because this is for all ans, is equal to the first one, which is -1. I'm looking at where n is 1, what an is, plus n minus 1 times d, which is the common difference, so that's 2. We'll distribute an equals -1 plus 2n minus 2. Combine my like terms, which is what we got the other way. Sorry, which is what we got. So this was all my work I distributed, combine my like terms, and that is the same answer that we got on this side. 24 says, which function is modeled on this table? All of these are linear. Let's go ahead and check. What are we adding by? Plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. I now have to be multiplying by 3 on the outside. The only one that has that is D. And then I could also see what do I have to add to this to get it, and that would be 5. So 3 times x plus 5 is going to equal 8, right? Which explicit formula describes the pattern of this table? This is 2 pi, right? This is 3 pi, this is 4 pi. So we are just looking at this number multiplied by pi, so let's look for that. This is d, so I need c is equal to pi times d, which is d. 26 is super easy. Okay, on 26, you've got f of 12 equals 4 times 12 minus 20. Anytime I have this is an x value. So they're just asking me to replace this and give me f of x. So if this is x and this is x, all I gotta do is figure out where 12 is x. So that is c. 27 says, a wild horse runs for a rate of 8 miles an hour for 6 hours. Let y be the distance in miles the horse travels, and x be the time in hours. This situation can be modeled by a function. Which of these describes the domain of the function? So we know domain is x. We know that x is going to be somewhere bigger than 0 hours, because you can't run for less than 0. But at some point it is 0. And it's going to be less than 6 until we get to the end when it is equal to 6. So our domain is a, 0 is less than or equal to 6, or 0 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to 6. 28 has a really long word problem. We are looking at Juan and Patty, who decided to see who could read the most books in a month. They begun after Patty had already read 5 books. This graph shows the number of books that Patty reads for the next 10 days, at the rate at which she read the books for the rest of the month. So it's saying that she's going to read it at this rate. So let's look at the graph and see what the rate is. It looks like she reads 1 book, so it goes up to the next one, and it takes her 2 days. And she continues at that same rate of change. So I'm going up 1 over 2. I could model that as 1/2 if I want to try and make an equation. Let's go ahead and put that to the side just in case we want it later. If one does not read any books before day 4, that means that he's starting at 0 on day 4. And he starts reading the same rate as Patty, which we know is up 1 over 2. How many books will he read by day 12? So we're going to go ahead and just count on the graph. Up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Ran out on the graph, but I can still go up 1 over 2, because I know that 12 is going to be the next place I stop, because I can count by 2s. And that's going to be at 10. So he reads 10 books in the month. Last one for this video is number 30. which expression is equivalent to 121x squared minus 46y to the second. All we're asking you to do here is FOIL. So I'm going to find the square root of each one because this is the difference of squares one. Remember, if I have a negative and then in the middle and squared things on both sides, I can just simplify that by factoring it this way. So what is the square root of 121? That's 11. I'll put 11 on both sides. The square root of x squared is x. I get a plus sign and a minus sign. And remember, this was called the difference of squares. Square root of 64 is 8. Square root of y squared is y. So I am looking for this over here. It is not C because it has a plus and plus, so it is D with the plus and the minus. I should be able to get rid of a number or letter C because it has a plus and a plus. Remember, anytime I have a negative sign, it has to multiply to be a negative. So even if you didn't know how to do this problem, you should have been able to get rid of B and C pretty easily. And then you could have just multiplied these back to see which one of them had this answer. So if you didn't know how to do this one, you get to the test, you can always FOIL either answer out and see if you get the answer.